Hillary Clinton goes on the defense about the relationship between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department, but more and more people calling for that foundation to be shut down once and for all. I'm Charles Payne, and you're watching Making Money. We're going to get to the latest developments with the Clinton Foundation in a moment, but first, Donald Trump courting the Hispanic vote by allegedly softening his position on immigration. He held a private meeting with Hispanic leaders today to discuss his policies. So will this effort result in Hispanic votes? More in November. Joining me now, Kathleen Hartnett, Adam Goodman, Lawrence Jones, and Wendy Long. Adam Goodman, I always go to you because you're one of my favorite GOP strategists. Yeah, a lot of twists and turns on the immigration situation this week. I think Nevada is one of these key states where Donald Trump is really doing extraordinarily well, particularly with the Hispanic vote.
He has to do this, and he is doing this to have broader appeal, Charles. But the reaction to this has been amazing coming from Secretary Clinton. The reaction from someone who has launched a fire sale of American assets and freedoms, as we've seen from the recent emails, who is calling all of this racism. She says, if we want to secure our borders, you're a racist. If you want to tighten visa and immigration policies, you're a xenophobic racist. If you want to basically fix the system as opposed to defend the system, you're a racist. Right now, Donald Trump is scoring points by starting to broaden the appeal of his message to an American public that is thirsty for someone that's ready to lead and ready also at the same time to protect the interests of this country.
Well, Lawrence, let me ask, do you think the whole thing, alt-right, one is promoting, talking about alt-right, one is calling the other one a bigot, they're both arguing over this. Does it help either candidate? If so, which one does it help the most?
Look, it's not going to help any candidate, but Hillary Clinton started this debate. This is one of the things that the left tries to do in every single presidential race. But Hillary Clinton needs to take a memory lane down her past. Look at Robert Byrd, who she called a mentor, who hung black people. Look at Margaret Sanger, who she says she looks up to and admires, that continues to target minorities with abortion. I'm not sure Secretary Clinton wants to play this game.
You know, Kathleen, of course, for the audience, Margaret Sanger is the founder of Planned Parenthood. And I don't know, I've lost count of how many abortions they've been involved with, but we know it's in the very, very high millions, maybe north of 50 million. Kathleen, you're down in the great state of Texas, watching all of this play out, solidly red state. But what do you make? Because this has been an interesting week where, to me, it seems like Hillary Clinton not only went to the race card because it's what the Democrats typically go to, but it was a way for her to get the sort of change the narrative, if you will, because even the mainstream media was pounding her pretty good on this Clinton Foundation.
I agree with you, and I also think that the Clinton campaign, and regrettably as mimicked by much of the mainstream media, are really using these issues as a distraction from what voters tell us are the really, substantial issues of this campaign: job creation and national security. And the contrast when, I think, and in the next 2 months, when the kids are back in school and Labor Day is behind us, I anticipate that one way or another, the meaty issues in this campaign will be more in the forefront. And I don't really think Hillary Clinton wants her policies on job creation or economic growth and national security to be contrasted with Mr. Trump's, because they're very, very stark. Bold, business-savvy Donald Trump has, articulated in his economic policies and in writing and in his speech, and the energy policies, that he wants to boldly take advantage of America's prodigious energy opportunities as an ignition switch to job creation, to real dynamic growth and national security.
Wendy, here's the thing. And by the way, you're running against Chuck Schumer. A lot of people say New York will never go GOP. In fact, some GOP strategists wonder why Donald Trump is putting as much work into the state as he is. But having said that, we know in this particular state, the issue of race rings paramount. You've got large black population, large Hispanic population. So what do you make of this particular fight that's going on now between the two candidates?
Well, look, I mean, it's between Hillary Clinton, who her whole appeal is she carries hot sauce in her purse and she mimics a Southern accent when she's in these Southern black churches. I mean, that is pathetic. That's really her outreach. And Donald Trump is talking about what some of us in the Republican and conservative movement have wanted to talk about for so long.
Well, why haven't you? Why hasn't anyone
Well, I've
talked
never
about
held office.
Right.
You know, Jack Kemp was working on it, and I think this is picking up his baton. But I think it's picking it up in a new way, and Donald Trump is reaching out. And I don't think this year is about Democrat against Republican. That's why I think New York is in play. It's Donald Trump's home state. I think all those traditional political boundaries are being broken, and that's why he can reach out to Democrats and independents.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. What was that, Lawrence?
Yeah, but he has to show up in the community just like other Republican
and I
candidates.
think he will. I think he will.
You can't just give a speech. I'll admit his speech is great as far as the rhetoric and creating jobs and fixing the education system. But you got to go to those communities and extend the hand. Right now, I'm not seeing that from the party or the candidate.
Yeah, you know, Adam, and to that point, I mean, listen. I tell you, I think he should probably go to Convent Baptist Church here or Abyssinia in Harlem. Those would be one of the first two stops I would make if I was on his campaign. But again, how much time do you want to spend on this? Because I also agree that I think that the economy, I think terrorism, I think that's Donald Trump's wheelhouse. And for me today, the GDP number was revised for the last quarter lower. 1.1%. I mean, that would be in my commercials. Now, I never ran a political campaign, but, you know, if you believe Wendy and I do that, this is really one of these years where people are fed up with both parties. The outsider with the business experience probably should be banging that away, no?
Hey, Charles, I'll give you the tagline on that commercial you just started to write. You can put anything up front for the first 25 seconds about something that's messed up in America, and here's your tagline. Hillary Clinton is the system. Donald Trump is running to fix it. Trump for America.
Yeah, we might have to squeeze
anything.
We got to squeeze it down a little bit for the bumper sticker, but I get where you're coming from. Of course, Kathleen, down in Texas, you guys got those big trucks, so you could probably fit that on right now.
Well, and we experienced, and I would predict we will again, what it means to have dynamic, vigorous economic growth that lifts all boats. The shale revolution.
Yeah, but he has to have a plan, though. The plan.
I think Donald Trump's energy plan and economic plan really kind of lays it out. And I might add two things that, to me, are at the heart of his plan. He's committing himself to two things that the last 6 presidents committed themselves to, and they all failed. One is energy independence. The second is to restore a vigorous manufacturing industries in this country that are competitive on a global basis. Those goals are no longer pipe dreams with enough.
But Donald Trump wasn't an innocent bystander. Donald Trump was giving to both parties as a businessman. He's not one that just stood by the sideline. He contributed to both sides.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Wendy, and some people are saying that, you know, you have been the establishment. Isn't he trying to say, hey, I'm stepping back? I'm sort of like the same rationale maybe when Kennedy was established as the first chairman of the SEC, you know, an insider who understood the game, now being put in charge to monitor it and make it more fair?
Donald Trump understands. He was involved before as a businessman, and he knows what's wrong with that system. Anybody who's in business has to give to both sides. You have to pay for access. You have to pay not to get Chuck Schumer on your bad side, because we know what he does. He sicks the IRS on his political enemies. You know, that's the problem with the system. So Donald Trump
Hold on 1 second, Lawrence.
Donald Trump knows that. That's exactly what he's running to fix now. He's never been a politician before, and I think he's going to approach this in a whole new way. He is here to smash that corrupt, pay-to-play rigged system.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
So my question to you, you said if you're a businessman, you have to give the politician for access. When you become elected, if you are elected, will you be taking favors? Because that's crony capitalism.
That's exactly right. And I'm in this for the same reason Trump is in it, to smash that system. I'm all about small donors, and anybody who gives to me has to sign a pledge. I will never ask for a favor, and I know I'll never receive a favor, and they won't.
Well, you won't be running any major foundations, that's for sure. Hey, so Adam, let's get back to the strategy here, okay? Because, again, this has been a week where we've talked about race relations, and Donald Trump has gone on the offensive in a way that many Republicans have hoped for or wanted. How do you see it playing out from here? Next week is sort of the last week before it all gets, according to you experts, really down and dirty and real.
Well, we had the 3 political Super Bowls coming up with the debates. I think that's what you're really kind of referring to. What Donald Trump has to do now, every day, every week, from now to the end of the campaign, is put on the plate not the persona and personality that he certainly has a lot of, but the purpose and the reason he's in this race, which is to fix the system. There are 1,000 things he can reference that get people shaking their heads saying, oh, you're right. And the worst thing that could happen for us is at the end of all of this, at this incredible historic campaign, we end up in a place where the system wins. I think that's where he's got to go. He's got a lot of time still to do that, and the debates are going to be hot, hot, hot in terms of that issue alone.
All right, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Coming up, one school is taking a stand